Welcome to episode 3 of the Bare Naked Women Show. I'm your co-host, Jen Sherman, along with
Pamela Sorensen.
BMW is a show/podcast, an online community where we openly and candidly discuss how to flourish and feel fabulous from the inside to our outside during a glamdemic. Each week, we share tips, tricks, advice, and ideas and solve problems on beauty and our overall health and wellness. Please join our conversation on Tuesdays at 5:30 ET on Facebook Live and follow on social. And of course, let us know what topics you want to hear about. And with that, let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, because I know there are some men out there that are watching, thank you very much. I am so pleased to introduce a dear friend of mine who happens to also be on my advisory circle, happens to be on a client's board. But I'm ahead of myself. Okay. Alka Dhillon, we met many, many years ago when she was launching her new published book, The Om Factor. We're going to get into that. And we became friends. She is a CEO. She is a founder. She is an entrepreneur. She is a public speaker who speaks globally, and who motivates audiences from all walks of life. She is a wife. She's a mother of 2 adorable children. And more than that, she's a friend, as I mentioned before. And we're so honored to have you, Alka. And although we're going to dive into this, I did bring this. I wanted to show everybody, this is the hard copy book of, and it's a memory of when the 2 of us first met many, many years ago. Of course, it is also on audiobooks. But the thing that I really want to say more than anything, besides her being a friend, is that she has the most exquisite taste in red wine and handbags, style and fashion. Welcome, Alka.
Welcome.
So much for having me. What an intro. I mean, how do I even talk after that? That was very humbling. Thank you, Pamela. You are a dear friend also. And it's just so amazing to be in your space. Jen, you equally. It has been a pleasure to even get to know you through Pamela. And thank you both for having me on the show.
Well, you're welcome. And before we dive in, because we've got a lot of stuff to cover, we are going to do our famous cheers.
Cheers. We have 2 red wines and a champagne. Well, Alka, did you want to should we show our bottles?
Yes. Okay, so I have 2 bottles here. Okay, so I have my red wine and I have my 1942. And I tell you why, because I love my cab. I love experiencing the cab, right? The complexities of it. And I love drinking it in a very, very sexy glass.
It's such a large glass. I mean, I think that is boss. That's like boss woman stuff, you know?
Right? We're not judging, but it's like really, it's boss status. So, and this is a great cab. Normally you girls know I'm a famous, but this arena is amazing. I also have this 1942. So I also love cocktails, you know, when you feel like it hits you. And this bottle is just, first of all, so gorgeous. And the tequila is just, it hits your lips, down your throat. It is happiness in a bottle. Amazing. So I felt like depending on what we talk about at different points, I may feel differently. And I go with that.
I love that.
I'm here for it. What are you drinking, Pamela?
Oh, well, it's nothing fancy. No offense to the kind folks at Alias Pinot Noir. It's not super fancy. But guess what? You know what? In my refrigerator, I always have lined up bottles that have like everyday Pinot Noir, Sauvignon Blanc.
It's a great everyday. You know, of course. I mean, you know, that's what's important. I mean, it's your everyday Lamarco Prosecco. You know, it's a solid bottle. You can't go wrong with it, you know, and it's a good choice. I feel like all of us have some nice choices tonight.
I love it. So we want to go into learning more about Alka, especially because, you know, for our audience, this is about discussing how we flourish and how we feel fabulous from the inside out during this glamdemic. I mean, we talk about beauty, we talk about health, we talk about wellness and everything like that, and why we think that you're such a great guest and somebody who can enlighten us from a variety of different things one, because obviously you wrote a book about something such as mental wellness, and especially from a woman's perspective. But Jen and I came up with some questions, and the first one is, you're running a business, you're a CEO, you're a mom, you're a wife. How have you been dealing with this from all of those components, especially because I don't think that you're going into the office. So just from a curiosity perspective, how have you been holding up?
Well, thank you for asking. So this is my home office, which we're seeing right here. And you're right, I'm not going to our headquarters in Tyson's, which I miss so much. And I miss my team, which is my Technalink family, so much. And we connect every day, whether it be on Zoom, whether it be over the phone. We try to connect and socially distance and meet and things like that. And try not to let the physical distance get us, right? But as you're sitting here and we're in all the days run together. All the minutes run together. Everything runs together. It doesn't even feel like a weekend ever. It just doesn't. It's like one day after another. For me, what I try to do is find the beauty in the moments that are in front of me and find the life in the moments, right? So if it's maybe I'm helping my daughter with homework, right? And that sometimes makes me want to pull my hair out and, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? But I try to tell myself, look, normally you wouldn't have time to do that if you were at the office, and you're getting these moments with her. These moments are not going to be here forever, right? And at the same time, there are times where I lock the door and I sit down and I'll cry. I'll just let out emotion. I'm not, none of us, all of us are works in progress. All of us are dealing with this as best we can. So to answer your question in a very long-winded way as I have, I'm dealing with it by embracing every emotion I have and honoring every emotion that I have. If I'm crying, I'm all in it. I am crying. If I'm laughing, I am laughing. And if I'm smiling with you. So you know what I mean? I just try to be there.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think to that point too, Alka, is that it's really important to feel the feelings. I think a lot of us, and it's not, it's, and I say this a lot, it's like there's what's in front of us, but then there's this extra weight that we can't control. And just to be able to feel during this time. And I remember when we first really had our first encounter, which was the beginning of the pandemic, the pan, as I like to call it. And I think I blacked out that interview. Now, not from an alcohol way. Like, I think I blacked out because I was like, this was like, we just were launching. I think both our minds were so cloudy, but like we still, it's crazy how far we've come, but we also still think it's like, what time or day is it all the time?
All the time. All the time. And I remember that interview. It might be hazy for you, but I remember it. And I remember the hope in our eyes.
Exactly. I remember it. I'm just like, that was during the clouded time. Yeah, totally. I was like, hi.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were just like, how are you coping? How are you dealing with this? And it felt like there was going to be an end, Did we ever think we were going to be sitting here in October? No. Not like that.
I kind of did. I was like, I'm ready for this. But I was like, now I'm just in different things. But seriously, a lot of people are like, this is crazy because what is this? It's like, okay, we're on lockdown. Now let's go back to normal.
To that point, I was talking with a mutual friend of ours and client, Bob Morgan, today. And I said, the interesting thing is I feel much better with this type of interaction, the virtual interaction, than in person. I feel like I'm socially awkward now, this is the total opposite, because in the beginning we were like, this is really weird. Where do you look? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And now everybody's like, yes, we got it down. And then when you go out and you finally see some people, everybody's like, hello. We don't know how to act. And so I know there's some articles about how everybody's very socially awkward, but have you felt that way, that there's some sort of like weird social awkwardness now that we're seeing people?
So I'm such an extrovert, you guys.
Same.
For me, although I'm embracing the moments, I'm dying to go back out and dying to be around people. That said, and I was talking with my sister about this the other day. I feel like I'm reevaluating my time and how I spend it and with whom I spend it. Right? Even my professional time.
Mm-hmm.
That which might have been a face-to-face meeting, maybe doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
That which maybe certain people that I associated with prior to the pandemic, maybe the depth of those relationships don't serve me anymore because they're not to the depth or level that I feel works for me anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like, not to be morbid or anything, I'm not decluttering, right? I feel reorganizing and everything's coming from a different perspective now for me. And I'm an extrovert.
I'm like, I don't have to take notes because I can rewatch this, but my goodness, amazing advice.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, I think a lot of us have just taken the time to slow down because time is so precious. You know, you do have a family. All of your responsibilities right now are straight in front of you, and it's allowed us to slow down and not go a million miles per hour and evaluate who's making me feel good and not feel good. Yes. And if that person's not making you feel good, then see you later, right? And same business and professional, and the people who are really there to uplift you. And I think that we can all agree, you know, we've seen everyone's been in very vulnerable moments probably every day, but it's like who you see a lot of people's true colors come out when they're under adverse environments.
So true. And do you both feel, does it make you question whatever was real?
Oh God, we can get philosophical. I love this. Let's go. Yeah, frankly.
Like The Matrix, right? I mean, am I dating myself? The Matrix is such a good movie.
No. Keanu Reeves will be is my husband in my Matrix life.
He's your husband?
She's been hiding it. She's like, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm drinking to that. But I mean, the thing about the Matrix is like, what is real? What isn't real? And I kind of feel like we're feeling that. Not getting philosophical, just dropping that little thing.
Oh, it's true. It is true. I mean, with that, I'm going to just jump right in because what is real? What is not real? What would you do? What would you not do? Jen, I say it's time to play Would You or Would You Not?
Well, oh, wait, guys, we got a bell. I mean, to the audience.
To the bell. Now that laid flat.
I'm going to go hat tip to Kelly Collis, our last week's guest who did have a bell. And I was like, I need a bell. And she said, you should get a bell. And I went on Amazon and boom, I got a bell.
Thanks, Prime.
And how quickly did it come to you? Did it arrive the next day?
I mean, I get so many packages every day. I don't even know. It was somewhere amongst the boxes.
Amazon should sponsor Bare Naked Women because I think I always say this jokingly. I think Pamela was the one in the beginning of the pandemic. And Amazon stock has always gone up, but it's gone up. And I think it's Pamela.
Number one.
Okay. Run for your money on that one.
Yes, I know. Too bad I didn't get any stock early on. Anyway, so Jen, do you want to start with the first question for lovely Alka?
Sure. So Alka, would you or would you not go inside a restaurant?
I would go inside a restaurant in order to go outside and sit outside.
That's a good answer.
I love that answer.
That's like a really good answer. That's a good one.
Oh, good. Okay.
I haven't been prepped on these questions, so forgive me.
Oh, that's the fun part of this whole thing because we don't like tell you what they are, and then you're like put on the spot.
This is about the most spontaneous I get during my any day life. Okay. This is a super easy one. Would you or wouldn't you get a manicure and a pedicure?
So the answer is yes. Under certain, I would show you my feet. I'm actually not wearing shoes, but it's inappropriate right now. But I'm saying the answer is yes. But again, the caveat is under certain circumstances where I make sure the capacity is at a level to which I am comfortable. I'm not judging anyone else. It's just my level of comfort. And my particular manicurist is there and my particular chair is there, and I feel okay at that time, and I will not go any other time. And I've maybe gone, well, no, not maybe, I've gone only twice during this pandemic. So there you go.
Listen, I got my pedicure last week. It was like only the second time since I've gotten a pedicure.
Yeah, you posted that because you treated yourself for your 2-year high.
Oh yeah, cheers. Wait, I've got to do my water.
Yeah.
So proud of you. So
That
proud
was
of
on Saturday.
Don't interrupt, but so proud of you, girl.
Okay,
So,
Jen. Next one.
Okay, next one. Well, frankly, I haven't gotten my nails done at all. I'm going like bare naked women on these guys and my toes, but that's a whole other story. LOL. So would you, excuse me, would you travel to a hot spot? Now, when I say that, I mean like the beach, because a lot of people went to the beach over the summer. It was a hot spot, but you needed to get away. So would you travel to a potential hot spot?
So we went to Mayakoba. Mayakoba is not really a hot spot. This is what we did. We went, I'm showing myself so much. So I needed it to be a direct flight.
Flying.
3 hours or less out at an airline that only kept the middle seat open, and there are only two, Delta and Southwest. Went to BWI to do that. Then from there, you are picked up from the airport, brought directly. I would not stay in a hotel, stayed in a home right on the beach, and it's just us, our own situation. That's it. So that I felt very comfortable with. I was really, really nervous to go, but for whatever it's worth, I would not fly to LA. I would not fly, you know what I'm saying, to other places that you might consider hotspots, but like to a place where I knew there were not many people and it was just kind of us. So it's kind of a hybrid. I feel like everybody's doing, and they're justifying what makes it comfortable for them. And then, you get tested when you get back and you get tested when you're there.
And frankly, it's interesting because LA, I would not go, but I would probably go to Mexico, like on a plane, because like that's because I know some folks who've gone to Mexico and even I've been following the points guy, and it's very strict. Like if you try to go anywhere, I mean, even places, and I'll tell you something, tourism, especially in these places of like in the Caribbean, that is their bang for their buck is tourism, but they've been really strict and shut down. And in my mind, if Mexico is allowing, they don't want a bad rep for anything with tourism. So they're probably really being so extra careful if they're going to have tourists.
They really are. And when I say they take it seriously, this resort is not a hotel. So there's not an elevator. Every place is its own little place, right? And so they take it so seriously. And just it's really well done. Rosewood Mayakoba, we've been going there for almost 10 years. Every year. It is amazing. So that is the only place I felt comfortable.
I'm going to cry because I want to go to it. I want to go to there. I want to go to there.
I think we should go to there. Together.
Last one, not as extravagant and exotic or anything as lovely. I mean, first of all, your freaking hair is unreal. Would you or would you not go and get your hair done?
Oh, I would get my hair done, but that is only of late. So ladies, I colored my hair, Pamela, you know this, for the first time ever in my life by myself. I got one of those L'Oreal box like things. Oh my goodness. I have a newfound respect for anyone working in a salon. So, because I have gray hair. So I was doing the roots. I did it from March until July.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall.
Same.
I can't do it. And so then I went with my mask and I went to the salon and I did it. And it's just like almost, you just have to experience it to do it. And then you get a level of comfort, but not too comfortable. So yeah, I feel okay to go. Not often, not as often as I would have before, but I go. I'm not pulling my hair again by myself.
I feel like a lot of these places are so, Jen and I were talking about how like these salons are so overly strict that it's, when I got my pedicure and I got, threading, and I'm actually going on Thursday to see Ishmael to get my hair colored because I don't know what color this is. It's like zebra right now. And I'm like, I feel safer in these spas and salons than I do like walking through my building's lobby, because it's like, no, like a way to like,
I agree.
100%. I mean, frankly, I live in a building that it's very, a lot of GW students, and I see this. I was on the phone, I think, with Pamela actually going up the elevator, but this college student comes downstairs like in a robe, like in her like pajamas, and I'm like, interesting. But I was saying it to Pamela, but it was like interesting. Like, are you sick? Like, are you okay? Like, why are you in a robe right now in your pajamas going in the lobby? I was like,
yeah, maybe she's doing online classes. I mean, there's so many students.
Of course. Oh, Alka, you're completely right. But me being a hypochondriac with anxiety, I'm like, I don't trust you. And now I have to get in this. And I wasn't actually going to take that elevator, but she was kind of like watching me. So I was like, God, I guess I'm just not going to breathe for 8 flights. And
You hold your breath?
I had to. I didn't want to like take in the air of, I don't know, what if she sneezed in there? You don't know what you don't know what they did in there. You don't know what they did.
That is so true.
That is real honesty. It's real talk right there.
It's real talk. So speaking of, it's now time for
that bell.
We're going to go diving in.
All right.
I mean, we want to talk about a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
But before we get to the super, super fun stuff of your flourishing 5, we want to talk about the factor, and maybe just clue us into some of your secrets of mindfulness, because right now we all need some mindfulness, don't we? We need a little bit of like, how I know that you gave us a lot in the beginning, but maybe for folks who don't know the factor, maybe just a couple of tips from the book itself.
So for those of us that haven't read it, no offense taken, I hope you do read it. I took 7 emotions that we all feel, and we discussed maybe half of them right now: the anxiety, anger, resentment, indecisiveness, emotions like that, and put it in a way that's very plug and play, where you can deal with it in the moment and not in a therapist chair, not when you're journaling, because sometimes you just don't have time for that, right? So what do you do in the moment? And I basically just took the things that I do in the moment that have helped me, and I'm sharing them all with you. And then I took 7 traits that I feel that if we cultivate, those emotions happen less frequently. They will always happen, but they will happen less frequently for a shorter duration and a shorter intensity, right? So many things I could teach if we had an entire session or time. But one really great trick, a couple of great things I want to say. I think our self-talk is really important, right? So one thing I taught my kids at a very young age, and I think is really important for us as women or men or human beings to do, is you get up in the morning. This takes maybe 10 seconds. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say the following things: I'm a beautiful person. I'm a wonderful person. I love myself exactly as I am. The last part is the most important, because we judge ourselves so much, and we feel so many people are judging us and our standards for ourselves versus somebody else's standards. We take all that on, right? And it's exactly as I am. I'm coming to you here today in this moment, right? All my flaws, everything, with me, and I'm coming here to you. So I love myself exactly as I am. Those 3 things should be said every morning when you wake up before you do anything else. Other thing I would say, sit in silence. Sit in silence and just be. There is nothing sexy about meditation. People Made a lot of money off of that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Made a lot of money off. All meditation is you just sit in stillness, close your eyes, and you simply observe your breath without manipulating it, without judging it, without counting the number of breaths. You just do that. If you set a timer, do that for 2 minutes every single day, you will notice the difference in your life. Those are 2 great tips I think I'd like to share. There's so many more in the book, I mean, that you guys can read, but give yourselves grace. You know, we need to give each other grace, and we're all going through this together. And the last thing I'd like to share, I just remembered this. I don't know, just the universe is just hitting it. Something I read the other day, and it really hit me. When you feel somebody's thinking something of you, if you're thinking something about a situation, always ask yourself, who told you that? Chances are the answer is going to be, I don't know. So then is it true? No.
That's a good one. Honestly, that sat with me. I got the chill on that one because I think we're so influenced all of the time, and we have so many different talking heads in our brains and our heads. It's like, go with your gut and go with your instinct and your intuition, not necessarily whatever voice is from someone else's perspective or experiences. I love that, Alka.
I love all of those. And I think it takes, it's a thing that I love that you're saying like every morning or every day, because it's a practice. It is a practice. It is not just like, oh, I just did it once and now I'm better, or I'm a different person, or I'm a better person. It is, you have to ingrain it. You have to make this a practice, and then things will begin to, you'll see how your life begins to change in such a better way. But it does take the commitment to stick with that. And these are super simple things. It's not like you're like, you need to write, a freaking manifesto and get it, it's simple words, and it's simple 2 minutes, and just the simple thoughts that are so impactful and meaningful.
Yes. And as you said, Pamela, so well, if you make it a practice, it's just like working out, it's building a muscle, right? It has no other way to go but to build if you just do it every day. And I'm not saying 2 minutes just because I want everyone to do it, and I think that's the right thing to say, and it sounds cute. I'm saying it because it works, because 2 minutes is a proven amount of time if done daily. I promise you.
That's incredible. Well, with that, speaking of muscles, which I have none of anymore, unlike Jen, who is the workout queen, the only muscle I have is in my right hand. Woo! 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 Wait. Woo! Woo! Yes, unfortunately, I've got like a Popeye here, but I'm like olive oil here. So we are ready to talk about one of my favorite things since we've started this.
She lives for this, like lives for it. I make mine up on the spot almost every single week. And
Wow. Okay, let's do it. Let's get into it.
Oops, I missed it. Okay. We are about to go into the hashtag Flourishing 5. Now, people have been like, oh, wait, is this the Fab 5, the favorite 5, the fantastic 5? It could be whatever you want it to be, but we're calling it the Flourishing 5. And mind you, asterisks, none of these products, services, anything that we're talking about is sponsored. If you do want to find that your product, your service, your spa, your clothing, anything that possibly has anything to do with beauty and health and wellness, would you like to see this on the show? Well, you contact me and perhaps you can be on the Flourishing 5. With that said, we're going to jump right in. Okay. Now, we're going to do a round robin style. Alka, since you are our guest. Now, Jen and I switch this up because we're not going to do all 5. You're going to do one. Jen's going to do one. I'm going to do one, you're going to do one, and then we're going to continue. But then we're going to switch to the routines and rituals. So if you go on too long, I'm going to go, okay. So first.
I need that bell because I talk. So you go ahead. Just get your bell ready.
Alka, tell us about the first of your Flourishing 5 must-have beauty products, something during this glamdemic.
Okay, so I brought some of them here. Right? Okay, so my first one, and I am so excited to share. Is this what those what do they do?
We actually are putting it up on screen. Jen's going to put it up on the screen. So
That's fancy, ladies. So this is an amazing hair perfume. This is made from a very specific type of bee. And Nagin, who is the designer of this perfume, made it. And I am telling you, first of all, I'm wearing it in my hair right now. If you could smell it, I'm totally feeling myself because when you move it, like oh my gosh, it smells like just happiness and everything in a bottle, right? You're walking around, and what I was saying earlier, and I wanted to share, is that I'm first, like, I'm not around a lot of people right now, so then you're trying to find things to make yourself feel good, and I found this, and I'm telling you, it doesn't make your hair greasy. It smells delicious. I recommend you run and get it. It is amazing, and it's just like perfume for your hair.
Where can you get it?
You can get it on Sephora.
Okay. Ooh.
I'm making notes here.
I'm
just going to rewatch the show and then make notes. But
both of you have such gorgeous hair, and I just think that walking around. I mean, I've noticed people turning when I've walked, and I know it's the wind from my hair. Like, I just know it.
Maybe this one can help we non-married ladies when we trot down the street. We're like,
well, people have masks on. I don't know if they can smell it.
Oh, that's.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like we all want to use our senses, and I feel like the more things that we have about us that tell our story, our perfume tells a story, a piece about us. So why shouldn't our hair?
I love it. Jen, you're up.
Well, speaking of senses and smells, I for a while wasn't using perfume because I was like, what's the point? I'm just sitting here and I'm just sitting all day, and why would I use perfume? But then about a couple months ago, I was like, I want to feel good. Like, I want to smell good. I'm sitting all day, so my kind of go-to is Centol. I think it's 33. My dyslexia always gets the number wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Centol 33 Le Labo. And that smell, I'll tell you, I mean, the bottle's not cheap, but it lasts a year. Wow. And it's just sensational. Everyone, when I used to take Ubers and stuff, I always would go in the Uber, and every Uber would be like, oh, you smell so good. What is that? And I was like, it's Centol. Thank you.
Just as a friendly reminder, we will have in the show notes information about all of these products and services that, again, are not sponsored, so that people can actually find out what our Flourishing 5 are. Okay, so mine, I have, as Jen knows, I have like 5 billion products that I could just pull out at any given moment. So we decided just to make sure that I only did one per show, because otherwise we'd be here like all up until like 2021. So this one is.
Oh, yes.
So I got this at Target, and I love the whole entire line. The reason why I got this is because during maskne and also during stress, like here, I was like, what? Why am I breaking out here? Obviously, we know why I was breaking out here. This thing, okay, let me read this to you real quickly. Okay, it's made for problem skin. How? You lightly dab on a tiny dot and allow it to absorb. So it suggests it's tiny before it explodes and becomes like Mount Everest. Do it right then. Wear on any unwanted visitors, which we know what those are. And when it's AM and PM at the first sign of trouble, after serum and before moisturizer. Another thing that I really like about this is that they don't do animal testing, and it's not expensive at all, and it lasts for a really, really long time. And I am shocked at what I thought would be scars, because I scar pretty easily, have not turned into scars, because you're at home, you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick at this stuff and nobody's gonna see it. Anyway, so I don't have as many scars as I probably would have because of this guy.
Thank you.
Alka.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this shows how much I love this product.
Oh my gosh, it's like totally used up. I love it. It's like a tube of toothpaste.
So this is Summer Friday jet lag mask. Okay, I don't know if you're going to put it up on there.
I'm coming.
Is amazing. So we are all dehydrated at all times. This was invented to be a jet lag mask. So you're going on a flight. We're going on those long haul flights when we used to prior to the pandemic, and you put it on and you come off dewy and great, and you wipe it off. I use this as a moisturizer, and it gives such a glow. I don't know if I can see it, but like it gives a glow to your face. And I use it under my eyes also for hydration, and I do not wipe it off. I just keep it on. And this is the most amazing thing. And it smells so fresh. Again, at Sephora, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Hair and face.
Hair and face. I'll bring it up in a second. I lost it over here. It's on. I produce the show as I'm hosting it, and that is why I'm always scattered all over the place. 1 second. It's a little small. It's a little small. So I'm just gonna.
It's a little small, but I promise you, if you just Google jet lag mask Summer Fridays, you'll find it. It is amazing.
We'll put it in the show notes for sure, because I'm definitely going to be getting that.
10 out of 10. Amazing.
Jen, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I thought we only did one.
We're not going to talk about your flourishing 5. You're going to talk about we're going to switch into, no, we're not. We're just going to go ahead and let Alka go her 3, her 4, and her 5. And then we're going to switch to the routines. So go ahead, Alka. You're going to continue on.
Okay, sure. I would like to share, and I have it right here. Okay, so here's the thing. We're all trying to create a space which makes us happy, which makes us feel our fullest selves, our best selves. When we're down, we come to it, we feel a bit of a respite. It's amazing. One thing that I like to do, I have to engage all my senses. I'm a sensual person, and we don't need to go the other side with that. I'm just going to say I'm a very sensual person. And so things like, smell are very important to me. I'm going to share with you guys, and I have it playing right, and I'm going to say this because it's playing, because it's a fragrance that you play and you control it from a smartphone like you would play music. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to unplug it. I don't want to unplug it because it smells so delicious. So it's called Era. Look how sleek and sexy and minimalistic. You take it. Okay, so one of my favorites is Revive Morning, just because it smells like a beautiful spa, and you wake up refreshed. Anyway, you put it in here and you push it down and it plays. You control it from your phone. If you have multiple ones, you can control multiple scents in different rooms. For me, I have it Era, A-E-R-A. I have it in my office, and then we have one on the main level, right? When you walk in, because you want to have a feeling when you walk in that you're coming into your home. But when I'm in my office, I want to play different notes and different things depending on my mood. So that's my next one.
That is so innovative. That's better than candles. I mean, that's insane. How long does one of those little pods last?
Great question. It depends on what intensity you play it, right? It's supposed to last 2 months, right? They're not cheap, but I will tell you this. Because you control it from your smartphone, you can set a timer and have it play at certain hours using it. And it's not like a regular diffuser. When you are there and you want it on, instant gratification. That is another thing that, yes, I have patience, but I also like my stuff when I want it, like we all do. If I want it to smell amazing in this room, I push play. It smells amazing in 30 seconds. It's amazing. I use that word too many times. It is amazing.
If it's amazing, it's amazing. Okay, you can say amazing as much as you want. I mean, quite frankly, I use quite frankly all the time, and I just like that word.
Love.
And where do we get this?
So you get Era from Era. You get it from era.com, erahome.com.
Okay.
Amazing. And you can just, and the other thing, I love this about this company. If you don't like it, you send it back, no questions asked, even if you've used half of it, and they'll send you another one. No questions
asked. I love
asked.
that. Great customer service. Great customer service.
And if you want to test it out, they'll send you testers. You pay $20, right? You get the testers, but then you can use that $20 towards buying something. You lose nothing.
And you just have a great sense of smell, you know?
Yes, and I love it. So it's like my hair smells great. My face, I feel it glows. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I just love it. And I love the scent of the Era. I think that's fantastic. My gosh, I have so many things, you guys.
You had 2 more to go.
Okay. I'm going to switch one of my things because this is one thing. Okay, so Live Tinted brand, the livetinted.com was started by an Indian girl who went on, she was on, I forget what it was, YouTube. And she used the red lipstick to hide dark circles. I don't know if anyone has seen it.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. And so she started Live Tinted, but she has great products, right, for covering circles, whatever. But she came out with this game changer. She noticed what she and her team, because she always gives credit to her team, as she should, noticed that women were putting lipstick on. So she got these, she gives the lipstick that's in a pencil, right? But she noticed that we were putting on gloss over it, right? And her product she wants to use for different things. So this is a gloss that I've used one of her pencils, and you put this gloss on, and then you take this and then put a little bit on your cheeks. And pretty, you know.
You know what I love about that is that it's
get a little glow.
Perfect for these Zoom calls where
you get a really pretty look at that. See, look at the glow. I love it.
And you really do need that for the Zoom calls because I looked like a ghost this morning.
Rika Mutiala is her name. She's amazing. Very authentic. Just amazing. My last thing that I did on purpose last is a book I'm reading right now. It's called Think Like a Monk. And if you live under a rock and don't know Jay Shetty, get to know him today. He has a podcast. He has billions of followers. He's amazing. He left his life in London and went to become a monk, right? And we all kind of are phoenixes. Is that a phoenixes? Rising from the ashes, right? And you have tragedy and adversity that make you who you are. He does this, he becomes a monk, and he shares in this book all that he learned. And he does this globally. He even worked at Accenture doing their social media. He speaks globally. He teaches you things similar to the Om Factor in that you can use them in the moment, but it's from a monk's perspective. I was never a monk. I will never be a monk. But I will say to you that this man was a monk. And that to me is legit. Like that is proof positive, amazing. And he's just and I use the word authentic so much, but he's so authentic. He lives in LA and his book is #1 right now on the bestseller list. It is amazing. And he's even done his audiobook like I did with his own voice, which is how you can connect to these types of subjects. So he talks about not just being your authentic self, right? But how do you go about doing that? What's the roadmap to doing that? How can we do that? And how can you do it well? And how do you deal with certain things? So it's a great partner, I think, to the Om Factor. I think it's amazing. But for me, I'm feeling this book. I read it constantly. I reread it. And my son is actually listening to it on audiobook because that's how he likes to read. But it's awesome for all ages, all sexes. Fantastic. That is my Fab 5.
We should probably cheers to that because why not? Right?
Slow clap. Okay, cheers to those. holy cow, that Fab Five. I don't know how much this is going to cost me, but it's going to cost me something. Because I'm going to be making some boom, 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 bye, bye, bye. And next time when you see me, I'm going to be like, I smell so good.
Yeah.
My face is...
You can't smell me right, smell me right now, but I do smell very good. You know, it's like, and my hair smells good too. My room smells really good. I mean, some people might think it's like it's too much, but I mean, for me, it's just enough.
Right, and
that's the most important thing.
Feel like it's your space, and it just brings something to your day, you know.
Especially because we have to be here so much. Like, why not? Why not just relish in our space and enjoy it and love it and not go, okay, here I am again. When the scent is so extremely important. So the last part, not point, because we will never get to a last point. The last part, well, this is a new thing. We're calling it, I'm calling it because Jen's probably like, what are you making us talk about now? Routines, regimens, rituals. If there's one thing that you can say that you recommend and that you do that has to do with, it could be your beauty, but also it kind of plays into your mental wellness, what would that be?
Oh, I mean, Pamela, I sound like a broken record, but I am all about meditation. I am telling you, I would be laying on a bathroom floor somewhere if I didn't have meditation. Not that I haven't done that before, right? We've all been there. But without meditation, I would have never been able to pick myself up. Never. So, I mean, for me, meditation, it doesn't matter how long you do it, but and when I say that, I mean, just observe your breath, connect with your breath, connect with your soul. And then anybody you meet after that gets a piece of that stillness and silence. So for me, that is everything. My daily.
I love that. Jen, how about you?
Frankly, I'm probably going to echo off of Alka on this one, appropriately so, because I think the first time I really dived into meditation was shortly after I spoke with Alka for the We Are Everyone interview. You know, I, in the beginning of the pandemic, was really lacking that kind of routine, as frankly, probably a lot of people were. And I finally, you know, thought to myself, I was always told, Jen, you need to meditate. And I was like, what does that mean? I can't calm my head down. And then I discovered the Peloton app, and I would just sit. I'm like, am I a master at it? No, but that's the whole point of meditation. You don't need to be like the master of it. Just take the time and intention to do it. And one thing it's also has helped me with not only just some daily gratitude morning meditation, but the sleep meditation has helped me a lot because I have very bad anxiety and my brain can just go in circles. And so if I wake up in the middle of the night, you know, I'll pop on like a really good sleep meditation and it just puts me back to sleep.
I love that.
Well, I am going in a totally different direction than the two of you, but it does help with my mental wellness. Behind me, you can see, I bought a clothing rack and
I love it.
So why
every single Zoom, sorry to interrupt, but it's in every, like we were Zooming today with a client and I'm like, okay, so there's the background and then there's all these clothes. Right. It's amazing.
I moved it over so it's in the middle of the room. So here, this is why it's a routine for me. And how this helps me with my mental wellness and my mental health is I would go, you know, I rearranged my closet and everything, but still I would go into my closet, and especially during this pandemic and especially during fall when I'm like, this is my favorite time to wear certain clothes. I would go, I don't know what should I wear. And then I start my morning off with a crooked decision of like not crooked, but I mean like this rocky decision-making process. And then that would like really did not make me feel good for the rest of the day. I still felt like unsteady. So I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, and of course there was these rolling racks, and I said, why wouldn't I get? So I went on Amazon. Amazon, and I ordered one, And this has been a game changer because I've done basically I'll do like a curated capsule wardrobe for my week and my weekend, and everything mixes and matches and goes with each other. So all I have to do is go, and I put it in my main room, not in my closet or not in another room, because I wanted it to be in front of me and I wanted it to be in the natural light. And I thought it also kind of taps into the creative side of me. So it gives me peace because I know every morning I know what I'm going to wear and I don't have to freak out about it. And two, it's kind of fun because it's like, it kind of taps into that artistic creative side. And the other thing that I've noticed that I will close with is that I've realized I don't really need that much clothes. I have left a lot of clothes back over there, but I don't do laundry that often anymore because I can just like keep switching it around and everything. It gives me peace.
I love it, and I love that it's right behind you. I love the position of it. I love it. I didn't even notice it until you just said it, and now I'm all about it. And then I see your beautiful art right to the other side. Does it influence your art?
I haven't really done anything besides color in my coloring books for a while because
I wonder if you're choosing to pull from that palette. I find this fascinating.
I think Pamela has pulled from her artistic palette very well in the pandemic throughout different channels, if you will, the cooking or the coloring or the cataloging of her wardrobe. I mean, we're becoming Amazon's best customer. She's definitely channeling a lot of creativity outside of art. So I will vouch for her on that one.
Oh my gosh. Well, with that, Jen, I'm going to turn it to you to close us out.
Well, I just would like to say, again, thank you so much, Alka, for joining us. I mean, again, I really hope that we can hopefully in Q2 of 2021, which sounds so far away, but what is time these days, to get together in real life, because I love your energy, even just from a virtual aspect. So I just want to thank you so much for joining us. We will give all the links, provide all the links to the Fab Five, the Factor, all about Alka in the show notes and on social. I'm your co-host, Jen Sherman, and this is the other fabulous co-host,
Pamela Sorensen, and that is Fraser Simone.
She's been such a little good girl during this. No little barky. She's such a bare naked woman, but dog style. You can also watch.
Somebody's gonna tweet that.
I don't know if that sounded right or not right, but you can also rewatch. This is on demand on Facebook. Like I said last week, it's also on me to get this up on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, all those things, which is to come. And but follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Bare Naked Women handle, and we will catch you next time. Pamela, Alka, anything else you would like to close out with?
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure. I love being here.
Love being with you.
One last cheers.
Cheers, girls.
Thank you. All
right. Refill. Love you, ladies.
Love you.